There are some serious contradictions going on right now about whether or not Salvador Ramos, the 18-year-old who shot up Robb Elementary School 3 days ago on May 24th in Uvalde, Texas, whether or not he was one of the kids arrested in 2018 for making a very similar threat. And if that's the case, then he could have been stopped. I first saw this in a Twitter post that said, "It appears they knew all about the kids' goals of carrying out a mass shooting, even pegging a future Uvalde, Texas school shooting to the year 2022. And they link this article. 2 teens arrested in mass casualty plot in 2018 targeting an Uvalde middle school. One of the students had numerous writings and drawings depicting weapons capable of causing mass destruction. He wrote about being godlike and killing police and other persons." In the press release, Uvalde Chief of Police Daniel Rodriguez said that a Morals Junior High School student, age 14, and former Morals student, 13, had specifically targeted numerous students in what they described as a plan to perform a mass casualty event against the school. The investigation revealed that the students were infatuated with the Columbine High School shootings and identified themselves as the shooters. The students even referred to themselves using the Columbine shooters' names. Investigators also believe the students were planning to hold the attacks years from now during their senior year, on the anniversary of the Columbine shooting. One of the students had numerous writings and drawings which depicted weapons capable of causing mass destruction. He wrote about being godlike and killing police and other persons. He had an academic analysis of one of the Columbine shooters' journals. According to the release, the teens were also planning on detonating IEDs before killing students from a list ranked by priority. After that, the release states the pair were going to kill at random before eventually turning the guns on themselves. Any kid that talked bad about them or said anything they did not like, basically, they said they were going to kill them. Both students were reportedly evaluated by mental health services on April 19th, when the investigation led officers to the pair. The older of the two was released on April 23rd into his mother's care. On April 25th, the pair were taken into custody and this time arrested for conspiracy to commit murder. This article was published May 3rd, 2018. So here's where the contradiction comes in. Police dispute claims Uvalde gunman was arrested for prior school shooting threats. Police say the 2 teens who were arrested in 2018 remain in custody at a juvenile detention facility in Del Rio, Texas. Texas Representative Tony Gonzalez came out saying that Salvador Ramos was arrested 4 years ago. He was threatening a school shooting, but police are disputing those claims. Some authorities are saying that Salvador Ramos has no criminal history, and others are saying that they don't have access to his criminal history, and it hasn't been made clear. This Newsweek article says in an interview with Fox News on Friday morning, Gonzalez claimed the shooter was arrested when he was 14 for saying, when I'm a senior in 2022, I'm gonna shoot up a school. But Gonzalez's claim has not been confirmed by any official source. Authorities have previously said Ramos had no criminal record and no documented history of mental illness. The Republican congressman said the claim was not hearsay, but information was given to him late last night. He did not specify where he got the information. He said something fell between the cracks between then and now to allow this to happen. We need to shake out all the facts. We need to figure out what happened, where the holes are, and we need to make sure it doesn't happen again. But if law enforcement, identified him 4 years ago as a threat, we need to figure out why he hasn't, how he got removed from that. So how is a Texas representative saying that it did happen, and then police are saying it didn't happen, and now we have the Texas governor, Greg Abbott, saying he may have had a juvenile record, but that is yet to be determined. He either has a record or he doesn't. He was either a juvenile delinquent or he wasn't. It should be very clear if he was arrested or not back then. How are police saying that they haven't got confirmation about his juvenile record, so they don't know if he could be the 14-year-old who was arrested and is still apparently in a juvenile detention center? So you can see how this would be confusing. The first article here says that he was arrested 4 years ago for planning an attack. The article right below it says that the school shooter was not one of the students arrested in 2018. And then the next article is back to saying that he was arrested for a previous threat. Clear need for mental health resources. You got that right. There's also some weird things going on during the actual shooting. There are a lot of inconsistencies in the story. Like one local police officer saying that there was a school resource officer there who spoke with Salvador Ramos before the shooting happened, and now that's been proven to not be true. That never happened. There was never a conversation like that. It was all just chaos. There were police officers going in to get their kids, but then there were police officers outside who wouldn't let any of the parents go in, and they were like handcuffing them. The whole thing was just a disaster. So the question is, if Salvador Ramos was arrested when he was 14 and had a plan and wrote out journals about how in 2022, on the Columbine shooting anniversary, he was going to shoot up a school, how does that slip past anybody? Even Salvador Ramos's parents can't get a story straight. The father said that his son didn't have a great life, but that, this isn't who he is. And the mother, who is allegedly a drug addict, is saying that what the father said is completely not true. She said that he had a great life, but also there must have been some reason for why he did what he did. No shit, lady. They claim that he was bullied in school, but then fellow students are saying he wasn't bullied at all. He was like kind of a jackass, and he often got repercussions for being a jackass. One student, I think it was a female student, who said that he was often trying to say really edgy stuff, and then when people pushed back against what he was saying, he would get incredibly defensive and angry. And then he would claim that he was being bullied. So there's a lot of conflicting information going on out there. And I'm very interested to know if this kid was or wasn't arrested when he was 14 for making a very similar plan. The argument that people are having about guns and guns being banned and all that bullshit aside, if this is true, there was clear evidence that this kid was going to do what he did, and nothing was done about it. Thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Victoria Evans. Be safe out there.